It's a whole digit upgrade. It's a whole digit day. Cubase 15. It's coming your way. Oh yes, it is. Whole digit upgrade. It's a whole digit day. It's a whole digit upgrade. And it's coming your way. Not very good. £2.50 and an old Greek drachma. I'll take that. So the thing about DAWs like Cubase is they're not really like towns or villages. They're like massive cities. What I mean by that is that some of you who live in one part of the city, looking at the notation for example, will never go to another part of the city like the Modulators, and vice versa. So when you get a whole digit upgrade like Cubase 15, you're all anxiously looking to say, is this upgrade going to affect my part of the city? Well, in general, there are workflow improvements, there are new tools, there's all kinds of things which will affect every single one of you for the better. But the part of the city which is getting the biggest upgrade is the expression maps. Right, back from busking, surprisingly successful busking, I think you'll agree. Let's dive into Cubase 15 and see what it's got to offer. What I'm going to do is, rather than just list all the new features, which is a bit dull, I thought I'd just try and use them. So, obviously, I'm not world expert in this yet by any stretch of the imagination, but let's see how things go, and we'll give some of these features a little run and see what you think. Okay, so first of all, let's get Cubase 15 open. If you like this kind of thing, just before we get into all this, why don't you go and check out ThinkSpace courses, Google ThinkSpace courses, because we do loads and loads of great stuff which will help you write better music and have more fun. Okay, right, now. Well, this is the first thing that strikes you. Look, it's completely different. So you get the opportunity to set up things like audio driver and output and things like that before you even create a project, which is really good. You'll also notice, what's this? There's a project recent, but you've got a preview button here. Listen.
A whole digit day. Whole digit
What does he think he's doing? Okay, look.
A whole digit day.
Enough. So you can preview what's in the project if you want to. So let's open this one up and see what we've got. Not a lot is the answer. There we go. Right, so here is our project. In order to do that preview thing, you have to create it when the project is open. So you go to project preview, create, and then it'll save a little kind of audio clip, and it's a bit of fun. Right, well, actually quite useful. If you've got loads of songs called New Song or something like that, yeah, I'm talking about you, Millicent, yes, then obviously very useful. Right, let's get into Melodic Pattern Editor. That's quite a good one to start with. Let's get Hallion Sonic up, Pattern Event. There we go. Let's start with this. What you can do, if you double click on that, let's choose one of these new synths. Let's go for Writing Room. Hang on, browser. Oops, hang on, Media Bay, that's better, sorry. Writing. And up come Writing Room synths. We'll have, I don't know, let's have that one. Whatever that sounds like. About to find out. Here we go. Okay, let's make it a bit shorter. Right, that'll do. Now, let's go into the pattern editor, and you get a choice between drums and melodic. So obviously we're choosing melodic because that's new. And here you go. What you can do, you can set up, let's start with no scale, there we go. The range is here, so we're going C2 to C3, so let's actually whack it up to C4. Right, and probably start at C3. Right, now, off we go. Oop, hang on. There we are. Loop it. You can randomize it, but that doesn't work so well if you haven't set the scale first. Because what you can do, you can set, say, oh, I just want to work in the natural minor. Then do your variation. So you see how that works. This, I think, has enormous potential. You know, imagine you're a minimalist. Hi, Michael Nyman. Hi, Philip Glass. And you desperately want to play, to come up with something. So let's try a new track. Keep on pattern editor. Let's get rid of this friend here. Double click there. And we're going to have, this time we're going to use some short strings. So we're going to go, let's go cello. Cello. What we got? Cello, violin, cello, short is there. Spiccato, that'll do. Okay, let's see what we can do here. So this is my first layer, which is going to be cello, melodic. We're going to stay with that. So this is going in 16, so that's 18. 8. What does that sound like? Is that going to sound absolute pants? That sounds all right. Duplicate that and start a new track here, new pattern. I might try a violin in this one instead. Lin. I'm going to search in there. Get rid of this one. And go for violin. Come on, you can do, I don't want cello, I want violin. Violin. Solo violin, where's another short one, short notes. What have I got? Solo staccato alt, that'll do. You can do it, yep. Okay. Let's now go into here, get the pattern up. Okay, so now we obviously we want a higher range, go up to C4, start at C2, C3, there we go. Right, now, are we going to go in 16ths? We could do. So we're going to go. Okay. Instant minimalism. But actually you could do really interesting things, like you could have a bar of 5/4 against a bar of 4/4, and you could do triplets against straights. And so I think that this has enormous potential as a sort of compositional tool. And yeah, as you can see, I quite like it. I'm having quite a good time just messing about with it. Right, okay, a couple of other things. I'm going to come on to the expression maps in a bit because there's a lot to say about it. But let's try this. Have you seen the OmniVocal thing? Have I mentioned the OmniVocal thing? Here we go. So you can. It's a vocal synthesizer. Okay, so let's just play something in. Oh, it's on loop again. Let's unloop it. Here we go. Right, now it will sing to me, apparently. Oh, here she goes. Go on, sing away. Let's see what's going to happen here. Bit too much vibrato, my love. Now, but the fun bit is, if you go into the editor here, so, no, I haven't worked out how to do it, but look, do you see there's a box there marked text? Select the notes. Okay, so let's go. I'm just going to, this won't work, but we'll give it a go. It's a whole digit. Let's see if she can sing that. I suspect I need to learn how to program this in rather more detail than this, but the gist is...
It's a whole digit.
Well, she sounds more convincing than me. And you've got a bloke as well, Ryan or Kennedy or what, I don't know what he's called. He's not Brian though, is he? I mean, anyway. I wonder who that bloke is. Anyway. Don't be so silly, guys. Probably AI generated. I know. Anyway, so there's a lot of fun to be had with that. There's also a couple of quite cool plugins here. I know what I was going to. Yeah, sorry. Let me get back to. There's loads of new modulators which I think are quite good. So let me start another Hallian. Let's go to Hallian Sonic and just add any old thing. Not pattern event, MIDI this time. In we go. Let's go in there. Let's add some kind of whirly. Amplified whirly. That'll do. I have one of those. Come on, you can do it. Oh, come on. Right. So if I play something in.
Whole digit upgrade.
Not that. No, I think we're done with that. Okay, now, if I want to mess with that, I can go down the bottom here, go to the modulators, and there's a whole load of new ones like Morph LFO. Let's try this. And what we're going to do is we're going to assign that to the Hallian Sonic slot 1 volume. So now it's going to modulate the volume. Let's do it on and off so we've got maximum. Let's now increase the rate. Let's put, where's the rate go on? Quarters we want. Let's go to eighths. That's quite cool. Look, what I'm going to do, you see this morph thing? You can morph the modulator from one side to another in real time, which is very cool. So I've got different shapes and different rates of modulation going on down there at the same time. That's really cool. There's lots. I think with these modulators, it's so easy to use. It's so easy to apply it to whatever instrument is, whether you're working with synths or an acoustic instrument, anything else. That there's tons of potential there for those who are interested in the sort of sound design side of this. Right. Let's. There is an awful lot in this. Look, okay, let me cut to the chase and get to the. I said I was going to deal with the expression maps. Expression maps is the sort of big event here. It's the one which has had the most root and branch change. So in the last major updates to Cubase, they really focused on the score writing and rewrote it from scratch, imported some of the Dorico approach and code, and everything was great. Now they're doing the same thing. With the expression maps. Here I have cinematic studio solo strings. Let me just play a very simple little phrase in, and then we can just walk you through how it works. And then you can see whether it's right for you. Okay, now there's our little phrase, there's our track. Up here, expression map setup, click on that. Now we're not going to create one, we're going to import one because I've already got one which is pre-made, which is that one there. and then it loads up all the articulations. Okay, so we then go and select that as our, and there they all are. Now the first thing to notice is when you when you go down this, when you click on these, you can preview the sounds, which is new. The next thing is, this is how you actually do it. So we'll have pizzicato for those first ones. Now there's a number of ways you can do it, but just up here on the taskbar where it says articulations is dun 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 pizz, then Jim, then we'll have a spiccato or something. What have I got? Staccatissimo, that'll do. And then probably we'll go to some legato at the end there. Legato, let's see if this works. Okay, so that is the essence of how expression maps work. Now, as those of you who are familiar with this will see that this looks very different to the way it was before, and there's lots of new bits and pieces going on in here. One of the most important things which has happened is this. Do you see down here? You can set individual attack compensation and all kinds of other things for each individual articulation. Why is this important? Because in the past, you weren't able to change the attack compensation. What is attack compensation? Why does it matter? Okay, let me just quickly show you. Let me just get any old instrument up, and I will show you, and then all this will make a bit more sense for those of you who are not kind of well versed in this already. Okay, so the cinematic, so the strings, let's just get the full ensemble up again, and here we go. Right, staccato, right, here we go. So listen, so this, imagine this, let me just play in. Okay, I've quantized all those to the start of the note. Now, if you think about what happens when somebody plays a string instrument or a wind instrument, unlike percussion, the sound doesn't immediately start to go, yeah, there's a little tiny sort of crescendo into the main part of the sound, however short it is. And that, if you render this out as audio, you can see it, you can see the delay. So that's where the MIDI note is, that's where the actual start of the, you can turn it up a bit and you can see it even more clearly. You can see how the actual point at which you'd want the player to sync up with the beat will be probably, almost there, something like that. Now normally live players would play slightly early. So it would go like this. In the world of samples though, once you've quantized that, you can't do it. So what you do is you use negative track delay or compensation or whatever. So you say, right, let's offset that by 39 milliseconds just for the sake of argument, and we'll rebounce it out. And now it seems it's more or less, rather than less in time. Okay, that is important because if you're working with expression maps, each articulation is going to have a different sync point, so to speak. And so you can't just use track delay across the whole track because then some will be too late, some will be too early. Now, because of this clever development, you are able to program individual tracks which have individual articulations, have individual expression map delay, which is really cool. So if we look at this again, let's just get the expression map thing up again. So for example, we could say that we want the, where are they? Okay, so if we say sforzando, therefore, we want, I don't know, any number of milliseconds. That means that only that will have that amount of track delay. This is really good. I don't personally use expression maps very much, but I know people who think this is absolutely the best way to work. So if you are a big expression map fan, then all your Christmases have come at once, because this, look, I mean, it's just so much easier. There's this whole groups thing. You can see the color-coded thing at the bottom. This is just massively better than it was before. So it's going to be quicker and more intuitive to create these expression maps, and it's going to be easier and more effective to use them, but it is also a massive time sink. So, So look, what do we think? Well, you know, Cubase 15 is great, and there's a whole load of new stuff which, you know, and I've only just really sort of scratched the surface today. There's a whole load of new stuff in here which applies to everybody, whether you're writing songs, electronica, orchestral music, film, whatever. And you know, if this is your main DAW and you spend a lot of time with it, then it's a no-brainer. Then you're going to, you know, update, because, you know, Cubase 15 is significantly better than Cubase 14, which was significantly better than Cubase 13. Yeah, there's nothing to lose, and if you're going to spend a lot of time with it, upgrade. You know, I mean, why not? If you're happy with Cubase 13 or 14, and you really don't want to mess about, that's fine too. Nobody's going to make you. But it is this sense that huge programs like this are like a massive metropolis, and whether these changes affect your district of the city may well affect you one way or the other as to whether you go through this. Look, that is my first take on Cubase 15. It looks great. I'm using it now every day, and there's so much more stuff which I haven't even touched on yet, but we'll come back and we'll do more. So I hope you found that useful. So that's all I've got for you today. If you've enjoyed this, then like and subscribe and all that kind of thing. And check out our courses at ThinkSpace Courses. Why don't you Google ThinkSpace Courses and see what amazing things we have to, including a Cubase course. Lots and lots of interesting courses there to help you become a better and more fulfilled musician. But for me, for today, thanks for your company. See you again very soon.